Okay. We are getting started here. Happy Monday, everybody. Yeah, it's not Saturday. I'm well aware. But, we are moving things around and we're trying to keep the schedule flowing. So we're doing today's live session on Monday. Considering making this an actual thing since we've been doing on Saturday so long to flow this into my week, to give me my weekends back. Anyway, how's everybody doing today? Joseph Sunderman here, Creative Tech, not the Creative Tech, just a Creative Tech like the rest of you. I'm streaming on multiple platforms right now, and what I'm doing here is essentially a lab, and I own 3 companies, and I've been getting myself basically going through a master transformation plan to build my master tech plan. And things are going really well with the master tech plan and the adoption and the systems and the apps that we're building to manage, small businesses from 1 to 3 man team to, an organization, a brand full of employees and departments. So we're super excited about the growth of Icora and where we're at and getting our website ready and to hit the market with our minimal viable product. But as we get everything geared up, we got to get good at marketing. And that's exactly what this is right here. This is the Creative Tech, a Icora lab for working on the individuals that would be part of the modern workforce. So if you see yourself as someone being creative and you're in the workforce and you're one to help improve the environment that you work in, the culture, and to truly become a leader, and you don't have to be a manager to become a leader. We're all leaders if we want to have a culture of continuous improvement in education. You have to get yourself in a mindset of understanding the game you're playing, your personal brand, and how you're affected with those personal brands. It's one big game you're playing, almost like a video game. And if you know your foundations, your anchors, and your desired state you're working towards, you can start putting pieces in place and making actions to design the life you want. And that's what this is all about. And as we get good at working with the individuals that work within the workforces we support, boom, we're going to get good at this. And then we're going to take our findings to Icora, and it's going to help us hit the ground running when we're ready for that marketing come the 2026 MTP. So again, my name is Joseph Sunderman. This is a lab, but it's not a lab that's just going away and for naught. There's a lot going on here. This is an actual build, and we call it a tribe because we do things to make the tribe better. This isn't about, oh, you're not paying, well, you can't be a part of it. No, we invite everybody in here. If there's true value being thrown around, we'll talk about money, but we're still figuring things out. So that's down the road. We'll get there. It's all right. So, as we developed this show, just to give you a little background, when I first started this, had no idea where it was going. Didn't know the direction we were going to go in. And as we've been building our foundations and our anchors, it's giving us a direction. And that's exactly what we want to show. That's exactly what we want to show to everybody in today's episode is about anchors. That's our focus. And the way our lab works, this is very similar to our sessions that we do for clients on a bigger scale. We do a quarterly session where we work through a quarter to document and develop, up to 3 new policies within an organization. And we deliver them at the end of the quarter and start the next quarter to do the next round of 3 improvements. And here at the Creative Tech, we've taken that sessions framework and put it here to work with the individuals. So every week we create a focus that is important to the growth of the Creative Tech as of today. And then we have 3 topics on that focus. Why is this important to the Creative Tech? How does the Creative Tech use this? And what do you, as a potential Creative Tech, need to take away from today's episode? Those are our 3 topics. Now, looking back at last week's episode, the focus was on foundations. Foundations are paramount to the whole designing your life thing, right? Your foundations will determine your lifestyle. It'll determine what footing you have to focus on building the next foundation. So as you build out your foundation, do you want a foundation that just supports you and your family? Do you want a foundation that supports a community? Do you want a foundation that supports a nation? What foundations do you need to put in place for whatever aspirations you have? That's what we talked about last week. And what do they give you? Why was that so important for us to talk about last week? Well, for clarity. We needed to use foundations for giving clarity to everybody else around you. And here at both Icora and the creative tech, our foundations is security and being authentic and real and having systems that allow that to happen. So we use foundations by, how we use our foundations is with principles. We want good principles, good ethics. We want responsible technology, responsible and ethical relationships. And having those kind of foundations is, you start there. You don't, start somewhere sketchy and then work towards getting that foundation. You start on that foundation to get it solid, right? And then what we wanted everybody to take away last week from foundations is just figure out what it is you're consistent with. Because whatever you're able to consistently do and getting consistent with things, you have to have foundations in order to be consistent. So what we wanted everybody to take away is just look at consistency. Be mindful of consistency, because that's what's going to help you build out your foundation. Now, if we look at some of today's focus in its topics, we have a whole different focus this week. We're talking anchors, the very things that you want out of life as you move through it. And knowing your anchors will help you build good foundations. This is all connected, just so you're aware. And at some point, we've been working on these focuses for the last almost 9 months now, I think. And what I want to do in 2025 is I'm going to go back through the focuses again. And we're going to do a version 2 through each episode to enhance and show where we've grown since the last time we've done the episode. So this is all very exciting. There's structure here, and you can join in on the story wherever you want to, and you can be as involved with the story however you want to. We have a plethora of people joining in and helping out, and it's starting to turn out to be a beautiful thing. And it wouldn't have happened if I didn't stay consistent and show up every week. Now, I've been struggling a lot lately with school getting back in. I just got custody of my son full time. That's going to be a big time shifter. Cheerleading's over with, and I've never been around the cheerleading world before, and now that the little one's in cheerleading, I gotta learn to do a toe touch, I guess. Apparently, and Indian Hill, shout out to Indian Hill's cheer competition this last weekend. They did a really cool thing where they brought all the dads, a dad from each team. I think there was right around 12 teams total that competed. So there's 12 dads lined up, and they had them all do a toe touch and a cartwheel, and they judged them, and one of the dads won, and it was cute. It was cute. So I want to take a moment here to let everybody know some of the projects I'm currently working on. We like to take a moment in the show to just break down some of the projects. So right now, as I said before, we have some new people interested in the creative tech. I want to give a shout out to Todd Reed. We had a great session this morning. We had a chit chat on the phone, kind of an ad hoc. He gave me a call. We've been trying to touch base for months, but really cool to touch base with that dude and seeing what he's doing up in Columbus. He's actually doing installation up at COSI in Columbus right now. They just opened their new studio, so stay tuned because I look forward to him being one of the first spotlights we do. And I look up Todd Reed on Facebook and tell him that we sent you over there and say hi to him. Chris Brock in the AI Tinkerers, we scheduled a AI Tinkerers meetup at the studio for December 6th. And we need to get to work on that this week, Chris. So let's touch base this week and get all that lined out. And then, I haven't been doing a whole lot of Rigid 6 stuff yet. Midwest Con was the last project that we've done, so we haven't done anything since the beginning of September. And this AI Tinkerers thing, I think we're going to make that our next kind of a shoot. It's my birthday. It's an event to bring awareness to Icora. I also want to do a shout out for this, creative tech build that we're doing, and also capture everything with Rigid 6 capabilities. And how am I going to do all that by December 6th? Well, stay tuned. We're explaining it all to you. You get to see how we're managing it all with our tech stack and how we use Microsoft to get to be as productive as possible, to make our lives easier and communicate and all that good stuff. So those are some of the projects we have going on this week and some of the happenings going on. There's more than that, but those are some of the direct things that would be relatable to this. So let's go ahead and get into today's focus. Anchors. Let's talk about anchors, huh? We're not talking about the big things on a ship that drop down into the water, although it's kind of similar to that. You need to have anchors in life that what's that movie? When I get some money and have some editing, throw some B-roll in here. That movie with Melissa, what's her name, The Boss or whatever it is, where she's all like, anchors hold you down. You don't need relationships. Make that money. Grind, grind, grind. Like that, that ugly side to the grind hustle culture going on. Anchors are everything, man. You need it. You need people. You need relationships, and understanding those relationships and knowing who to build those relationships with, and what things truly give you happiness. Those are what anchors are. Like, I want to go to college. I want to get married. I want to have kids. I want to have a beautiful home. These are all anchors. And knowing what anchors you truly want, not what anchors that just happen by circumstance and you're having to deal with them. I mean, if that's the way life is going for you, I'm sorry that you're dealing with that. Join the tribe. Go to tribe.creativetech.ai. Join the group. Come to sessions when you get a chance. Schedule your free session. Fill out the alignment form. Align.creativetech.ai, and then schedule your sessions. Sessions.creativetech.ai. You go through the steps. Start having sessions, and you take it real. We keep it heavy, we keep it real, and we figure things out and we get you to a desired state. It's as simple as that. It really is. So why did we choose this for the focus? Well, we chose anchors because they're the driving force that guides us towards our desired state, right? These are the things, like, we're not all visionaries. Nope. And I believe I'm a visionary, but I'm not very good at articulating it, nor am I sure exactly what it's going to be. Like, for instance, example, I wanted to play music for a career. That was what I was going to do. I even dropped out of school to do this. And I didn't have good mentors and anybody really watching me. I just knew what I wanted, and I was driving for it. If I would have had somebody to mentor me and coach me and tell me, hey, if you really want these things out of life, stick to this. Education may have been something I would have been more inclined to participate in if I thought it was really there for me and not something I had to do to keep everybody else happy. Anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, knowing, if you don't know a vision, if you don't have a vision, actually committing to some anchors and working towards those anchors, you will start to figure out a vision. You're not going to figure it out just aimlessly going through life. And we can talk about objectives versus matters to some degree here, and we will as we get into the topics. But it's important for you to know that being real with yourself and not just putting anchors in place because that's what other people want. Having somebody else that's driving your anchors, that's an anchor. Who is it? Is that anchor important? And are they driving you in a way that's best for both of you, or is it really their agenda they're pushing? Having a good life partner. Did you choose a partner and you guys are just going through the motions because you guys had a kid together or something? Like, that's okay. That's okay. That's just where you are. You have to meet where you are today. You have to look at the anchors that are putting you where you are today. And you can't just reshift. You just can't throw away anchors, especially when they're people. Be a good person. I'm telling you what. Having good ethics and being responsible and moral, all you got to do is make efforts in the right direction and be respectful and have empathy and be kind to those around you and watch what happens. It organically happens. It has to, because that's just the natural order of things. Some people say it's religion, and maybe that is. I'm agnostic. I don't know. But we're not going to get political. We're not going to get into religion here. We're going to stay objective with what you are authentically wanting and genuinely who you are and what you want. And if you're having trouble with that, how can you have a vision if you're not even got that down yet? I don't think it's possible. So what I suggest is, wow, we got limited camera activity here. Looks like, let's keep moving in the right direction. How can anchors help the Creative Tech tribe? Well, they help us because, like I said, sometimes you have anchors that are not just about you, right? Like, there's other people involved. And when there's a desired state we're going towards, there's an equation that makes that desired state. And any people that are in that equation you have to figure out how this affects them and what their take on that desired state is. If you're not allowing them to collaborate, if they're part of this desired state and they're not in the development of what that desired state looks like for us to get there. Now you can have an idea and be a true leader and have vision for helping them get to this point and say, hey, instead of you guys just figuring it out for yourself, I'm going to say, hey, we want option A, B, or C, because at least one of these options will take us closer to the thing that you want, but allows everybody else to have a say in it. So always going in the direction that they want. If it's a job and you're an employer, like, why do I have to get their involvement? If you have to ask those questions, I really think it'd be important for you to join one of our leadership, master classes or session workshops, because radical leadership and understanding your team's needs are just more important than your needs. And if you're wanting them to push your aspirations and push your initiatives, as opposed to you pulling teeth to try to get them to do the things you need them to do, which is where most of my small business clients start off at. That's where I meet them at. That's where I get excited, because I know we can help get past that point. Anyway, getting back to anchors, the Creative Tech Tribe uses anchors as the guiding objectives in the objectives versus matters framework, helping us prioritize what we can control and how to truly deal with matters. How do we manage those matters in a way that get us closer to our desired state, as opposed to just going through life and doing projects and handling matters in a way that takes us potentially further away from the thing we want. So understanding how anchors truly work is very important. What I want you to take away from today's episode is that if you are real when you develop your anchors and you figure out what anchors and document your current state so you can get to that desired state, because you have to know your current state and be real with your current state before we can even design or develop a desired state. We need to know what anchors have you in your current state. So what I want you to take away from today's show is that I want you to be open with discovering, if you don't have a vision, if you don't know what you want, if you don't have a set career in mind, start focusing on anchors and be real with yourself and figure out what anchors are truly holding you where you are today and which ones you need to put in place to get you to your desired state, and who needs to be involved in that equation, right? So discovery would be the what you need to take away. And that's our topics, right? We have anchors, with the first topic being alignment. We use anchors to help us align our path and get to our desired state. How do we do that? Well, we use it for guidance. Like I just said, that alignment comes from, if we know our anchors, know where our desired state is, we know what objectives to put in place to help us get those anchors to come to real life. So guidance is how we use anchors. And then what you need to take away is discovery. So those are the three topics. All right. How far are we into the session so far? We are 20 minutes in. I think I was a few minutes late. That's fine. So we're 25 minutes. Yeah, so it's 125. Look at that. All right. Why does it matter? We're getting into the first topic now. Why are anchors important to the creative tech? Again, we're developing our long-term vision for where we're wanting to go. If we're truly doing that, again, some of us are not visionaries. Some of us don't know which direction we're going in. And when it comes time to make a decision, I don't know which way to go, which way is going to be best for me and my family. A lot of times we allow our current financial state to hold us where we are. We just can't afford to do this, so we have to do this. It's a really tough world out here, and truly knowing what really matters to you and what responsibilities you have. It's a lot to this, but if you don't have a long-term vision, if you don't have, depending on where you are in your life, again, I didn't start until I was 40, damn near 40, 38. I'm 44, I'll be 45 within the month. And I am just now, if I would have started on this when I was 20, like look, and I was 45 today, like I would have a whole crew already. This wouldn't be like I'd be showing up to a set, laying down my knowledge and letting them take it from there. I've already would have written with the script would have been written with a team, and like I'd be so much further along, is what I'm saying. But it's okay. I've had a crazy ride, and I accept where I am, and I'm actually happy with where I am. In fact, it's shown me that I'm truly built to be an entrepreneur. I've been through enough. Life has tested me enough. And yeah, I haven't always handled myself with the best composure. If I've ever fired you or yelled at you because I wasn't getting the results I wanted, I'm sorry I took that on you. It's up to me. I'm the leader here. If I brought you in to pay you to do a job and I was frustrated because I wasn't getting the results I wanted, it's because I didn't lead you properly. And I know that now. I couldn't have learned that. I got kicked out of my first band that I really loved being in. I saw potential in us. Like those guys, had we stuck together, if I would have been a better leader, which I was the leader there, they were coming to my place to practice. I ensured we practice this much. And I was very anal about certain things. But the problem is I got anal about things that I shouldn't have been trying to be anal about. I wasn't allowing the team to make their collaborative take on things. I was trying to control everything. Some of us just, especially if people think you're a jerk and can't work with you because of X, Y, Z. I used to be that guy. And some people will tell you I am still to this day, that guy. I can assure you that I know what I can't control and what I can't control. And if I can't control it and there's people involved with that state or whatever it is, I've learned that, hey, I got to get with them and see what their thoughts are on this before I make any changes. And I got to communicate what's expected of them. Because one of the biggest things I like to spit now is that unspoken expectations is resentment waiting to happen. Communicate effectively, internally and externally. And that's what the MTP for iCore is all about. And we're bringing that to the creative tech as well. So, what I love about knowing my anchors, it took me time to figure them out. I used to think I just wanted to work in IT for a big corporate America. These were one of my anchors back in the day. I got a degree in computer networking science. I got a job at Whirlpool, and that didn't work out. So I went to Cooper Tire. That didn't work out. So I went to Marathon. That didn't work out. So I went to Bridgestone. And that team gave me access to some really cool technology and allowed me to lead some projects that really helped me grow my technical experience. They all these jobs did, but Bridgestone, I was there for a good hot minute. I actually got employed by them. It was full time, not just contracted. And I helped manage one of their campuses. Shout out to that team for, great team. I just know I wasn't a good fit. At some point, I'm not going to be a good follower because I'm naturally a leader, and working underneath somebody, especially dictating, coming up with plans and me feeling good about something that we've built together. And then you have the decision to put a stop to it. And I can't swallow or accept the fact that we're not doing it because you don't feel like it or it's not your idea or whatever. Like there's certain things when somebody else is in control, like I can't control what they do or how they say, and they're obviously not giving me the same respect I'd give them if I was leader. So it doesn't work out, In that case, I probably stayed a little bit longer than I should have. I was asked to leave. It's either resign, Joseph, or we're firing you. So I resigned. Either way, that's a me problem. That's me growing and learning more about myself. And that was back in 2012, 2014, somewhere around in there when that job ended, which in 2015, so I came up and took over the Break Fix shop and turned it into a managed service provider, then started my own company in 2019 and blah, 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 blah. The rest is history. So I had anchors thinking I was going to be this big corporate IT person. I was going to rely on a paycheck from some big company and be able to have a band and just travel and do what I wanted because I was going to rely. But I'm not going to live the lifestyle I want, making $20, $30 an hour for somebody else's dream. Like that's just not for what I want to do. It's not going to happen. So what I had to do was I had to take what opportunities were available to me at the time. And that's what I did. And what I've learned is once you know an anchor and you know which direction you're wanting to go, guess what gets really easy to do? I mean, you could be someone that's sitting there stuck, not having a path forward or knowing how to make a decision or a direction to go in, and you feel lost. But guess what happens when you start figuring out your anchors and knowing what you want to go for? Decision making gets much easier, especially if you're good at documenting, laying this stuff out. Now that AI is here, you can just talk to it and say, hey, give me a bullet point with everything I just threw at you in a what feels more important down to the least important stuff, so I can have an action plan. Like, there's so many things available to us today that weren't available 20 years ago, hell, 10 years ago. Take advantage of them. And if you don't have a good tech stack and you don't know how to use your tech stack for your personal brand, let alone your business brand, give me a call. Yeah, I'm happy to consult with you and help you. And if you really want my help, we make the budget affordable to you, and we go at the pace that your budget will allow it to go. Like, if you need to get there now and you have the budget for it, we'll make it happen. And I'm not going to sit here and take people's money and waste their time. And the creative tech, as we build out our tribe, a creative tech will know that. And when you're talking to a creative tech, that you're getting somebody coming in that's really looking out for you. Because what we get out of doing it as a creative tech, what we get out of helping you, empower you, and making you better, it's like a producer that gets to help Robinson helping Slipknot record an album, and it just goes platinum, and everybody loves it. It's sick. That's what a creative tech is. We're a producer for the modern workforce. We help brands establish their internal workforce and help them with internal and external communications. We help individuals find their anchors and work towards their desired state. All this I couldn't have done unless I went through the transformations myself and built these things out myself. Super excited for all of it. All right, let's take a look here. We're now 30 minutes into it. We're about done talking about topic 1. We have 2 more topics to talk about. We're going to get into the community a little bit. And I'm telling you what, having this agenda today, this is the first time I've had an agenda in probably 4 months. And I didn't get to do the show on Saturday, so I took the time to do the agenda instead of doing the show. So when I had time to do the show, maybe it'd go smoother. And I'm telling you, I have to do this agenda every time. And I took time to build out the template. In fact, I will share that template with you guys in the next episode when we do I might get to it today. We might dabble into the agenda today. I think that might be helpful. I want to show everybody where the creative tech is on the back end, basically show you the build, and show you how we're using AI to help with the episodes, and show you where the alignment form is, which is not doing so hot, show you where the influencer database is, which is not doing so hot, because I don't have time to put into these. I've been putting more time into the show, into the agenda, into the descriptor, and hopefully those things are starting to show. We're starting to see the delta from those efforts. Now, I'm excited to start having guests on the show, especially if we get. I'm going to do a couple more episodes with this agenda, because what I've learned is with this agenda, I send this to the guest after we have a session together. I send them a copy of the agenda, let them go through it for a while, so that way when we do the show, they will feel confident and comfortable going through the show because it's all laid out. And it might be overkill. Someone might come to me like, Joe, what is all like? I don't want to have a page full of text to help me do this show with you. I want it to be more organic than that. Then I don't know what it's going to look like. You get a behind the scenes, a BTS to the whole thing happening. So hopefully as we start bringing on some people, some guests, we'll get there. All right. Another reason why we felt like this was so important to the creative tech today, just to wrap up topic 1. I have 3 bullet points, delivering long-term vision. Developing a long-term vision. If you don't have a long-term vision, why this is so important is that if you don't have a long-term vision, working with anchors and documenting your current state will help you figure out that long-term vision. And maybe not when you sit there in the very first session, but when you live it for a few months and you're working towards those anchors, you're going to realize the pros and cons. If you get to, and have your alignment sessions with us, and we do that on a regular basis, you're going to start seeing the big picture, and you're going to get your long term. You're going to find your voice. You're going to find your niche and how you deliver that to people. Like hello. Anyway. Let's go ahead and move into the Creative Tech Tribe portion of the show. This is the 5th section of the show. We did the intro. We did the sessions recap from last week. We discussed the focus, and we went over the first topic, and now we're going over the fifth element, which is between topics. We talk about the tribe. So let's do that. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Wrong version. There we go. Oh, wrong screen to share. Let's stop sharing. Present. There. Now you get to see the lovely. This is the agenda. So if you ever come on a show with us here at the Creative Tech as a guest. Again, we're into the segment right now, which is right up here. We're at this portion of the show. We've already done all this, believe it or not. If you read through this, you're going to say, oh my God. Actually, if you were an editor or if you were AI, you'd be able to go, oh my God, he did do all these sections. I can cut these sections out and make short form videos down the road, right? Again, having this structure and knowing I needed to get better at doing the show and have an agenda would help. You can start seeing where these anchors I'm setting up, or these, these tools I'm setting up. I would call having an agenda. There's certain things for the Creative Tech show that I would consider anchors. Like, for instance, tracking the show. Tracking is an anchor. In order for me to be good, or I guess it could be more of a foundation. But I want to be able to see the delta growth from here to there. I want to have a successful show that will allow others to join the program and to easily identify their space in that program and work their way up that ladder. Now, one of the ways that we're doing this so this is I guess you can kind of like call it like a Bible for the Creative Tech. Essentially, come on now. Just hoping to zoom in a little bit here, but I guess that's not an option. Anyway, we have the overview of what it is. This is our mission. We have our purpose, what the tribe is, what is a Creative Tech. We have our definition we came up with earlier this year. We have our different levels of Creative Techs. You can be a beginner, which is always free for a beginner. You can come to the show. You can schedule a session. As long as you're labeled as a beginner in our... Where in the hell is... Intranet, Creative Tech. So this, just so you can see here, this is our influencer database. This has all these people in here that we consider Creative Techs. Now, obviously, Alex Hormozi, Vin Gang, and Christo, and Simon, like all these people here, these are influencers we put in here that because we see we know these are influencers that have the Creative Tech mindset and are out there helping others, empowering others with their knowledge as well. And if you come on board and you're like, well, I really align with, the stuff Alex Hormozi does, and I really gravitate towards what he says and what he does, and I'm really into fitness. Okay, well, we know that's an influencer that we can contrast you through, but we don't have access to that Creative Tech or that influencer to work with you. But as we build out our database of people we have, and we market that we have access, this person will work with our, will they work with a beginner? No. Will they work with this person? No. But will they work with an expert? So yeah, maybe. So by by categorizing, having the structure, and being able to easy qualify people and put them where they belong organically, practically, what we're doing is we're matching people up to give value where it's needed, right? And at the beginner level, yeah, there's no money. It's all free. But when you become an apprentice, you could be an apprentice that's hosting sessions for free people. That's going to be at the lowest cost tier, right? $50 per session or something stupid like that. But an apprentice would be paying for sessions with somebody above them, but be able to provide sessions to free members. Operators, which are basically technicians, they're paying for sessions with the people higher above them, but they're able to charge for these sessions. An apprentice, I believe, can do free. If I have to go back here and read all the rules and stuff, and it's always, again, and these are some anchors we're working towards. Are they foundational yet? Have they been locked in as foundational and moving on and building the next? I don't know. And again, we're figuring a lot of this out, the terminology, and not allowing it to overlap too much, because there's a little bit of grayness between foundation and anchors and commitments and things of that nature. And as we figure it out and get better at it by practicing and working with other creative techs, maybe somebody comes in here and goes, oh, you're trying to mimic this thing over here. I didn't even know this thing over here existed, so pointing me to it will help give some clarity and help me relabel or realign things over here maybe better. I don't know. That's why this is open source for the most part, right? So we have our alignment form, which we want people to fill out. We have our database, and we have our influencers. I talked about spotlights, where we will doing either a person, a creative tech, someone's tech stack. If there's a really cool tech stack in a brand that we want to highlight or spotlight, that'd be great. Or a workforce, right? It could be a product, it could be hardware, software, it could be entrepreneurship, leadership, it could be an apprentice, operator, expert, whatever. But we're going to be doing spotlights, and I'm excited about spotlights. Todd Reed, the guy I was talking about earlier, I would put him at expert level, and maybe even Chris Brock and some of the others that we work with. Kendra, I know she would definitely be. Her and Helen would definitely be at the expert level. So there's a lot. There's a lot here already figured out. We just got to get engagement, get people flowing through it. We have Saturday sessions, which is the show. Here's the purpose of the show. Here's the content that we do. Saturday sessions, live show tracker. This is how we track the show. So this is basically the Bible for creative tech, and having this helps us work with AI so much. So I just wanted to take a moment to let you know that's there. Our sessions, we have all of, I've already shown you the tracker, which is right. Guess I got off the screen. Sessions. Again, this was the, come here, you. Yeah, this was down here at the bottom. This was the very first episode. This was our first live show. We covered a lot, but not a lot of structure. There was really no structure at all. And as we moved up, so 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, 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 all the way up here to 33. We're doing 33 right now. I need to go ahead and start working on 34, get it done, and I'm hoping somewhere right around, New Year's, we can start bringing on our first guest. We'll see. So step 1, we want you to go to tribe.creativetech.ai, join the group. We still only have 33 members. Whoop. I lied, everybody. We now have 34 members. I need to update today's episode. Thank you, Greg, for joining. I will, and just so everybody's aware, Greg may be one of our very first, if not the first, guest on sessions. I'm trying to get Mr. Joseph Sunderman to be the first guest. I've had a session with him. I don't know if he's done the alignment for him yet, but how cool would that be to interview Joseph Sunderman on the very first session that we have a guest on? I don't know. I'm being stupid. Anyway, I got to upload the thumbnail in here too. I got a few things I got to get done in here. Dang it. Let's change this to 34. That's exciting. Episode 33. Maybe I can take this momentum and try to keep the growth number above the episode number. That'd be nice. Anyway, we got that there. Oh, something I haven't got to post in one of the shows. And the last time I tried an agenda, which is kind of crazy, was back on episode 19. 14 episodes, 14 weeks. And I think there was a week I didn't do it in there somewhere or two. I've been very consistent. For the most part. I mean, for what I'm doing, I think I've done really well. But we have this agenda here. So let's go ahead and get it in here. Beautiful. And we also need the thumbnail. We got to go to this week's episode, which is here. And grab that PNG. And there's that. All right. Keeping this list updated is important. I'm going to put some post notes in here, which I haven't been doing that at all. This is really for when we get guests in here, but I've spent way too much time in here. We got 2 more topics to go through. Just want to give everybody an update of where we are with the Creative Tech build. We have our influencer database. We have our Facebook group, and we have free sessions that you can join up for right now. It defaults to the 15-minute. I've had everybody that's scheduled so far has chosen the 15-minute. Get that full hour if you want. Every 15-minute session, everybody scheduled with me. They said, all we need is 15 minutes. We're an hour and a half into it. And they're like, oh, wow, this is good shit. I didn't know we need this much time. I'm like, that's why I'm doing it. That's what we're doing. So all good stuff. All good stuff. All right. Let's get back into this episode. What's next for our community development? I think I've told you guys that. That's in the agenda here underneath this portion, the 5th section of the show. What's next for the community development, for the tribe development? That's what that should say, not community. What's next is bringing on spotlights and guests onto the show. Those are the next big improvements. Improving the influencer database. I know I got to make some improvements there. There's a lot of people I have listed that I need to add to it. A lot of great influencers and podcasts and things of that nature. Really just trying to build a database. And here's the beautiful part, that everything I'm doing is in 365, Microsoft 365. The forms when people fill them out online, the websites, the team sites internally, all of it's on 365. And we have something called Power Automate. I want to show brands how you can have a brand identity. And that's what Icora does. We come in with identity at the focus. Oh my God, here I am. I'm going to take another few minutes. I don't know why I got to talk about everything. I guess I just weird like that. Where is my? Did I close it? Hold on. Oh, there she is. She looks off. That's all. She's here. Phew. And now, with all that time I spent, I'm probably not going to remember what the hell it was I was going to show. This is what I want to show you guys. Here, let me come over here to the side where you guys can see. Whoop. Ooh, that light coming up. Tell scary stories or something? I don't know. Anyway, right here. This guy right here. Identity, right? Identity is internal and external communications to us in your tech stack. That's how we look at identity. And you need a platform to keep all your internal and external communications down. By using SharePoint, we're able to allow external, like we have something called VCMO. So if you're a brand and you need somebody to help, with your marketing and content creation, if you build out calendars and schedules and things that feed into a site, that's what we do for our clients. We build up these sites and these communication funnels and channels and things of that nature. So as you're working, oh, you know what? I need to notify someone of this. Make sure you just include updates on that email or whatever, blind copy it. We have practices that if you adopt them, that allow all of that information to go to a centralized place. So if you have a marketing guy, you say, hey, or lady, I keep saying guy, we need more females in this culture. So please bring the ladies. But what I'm getting at here is that we initially set up your tenant with your domain, which is your company's identifier, your brand's identifier, companydomain.com. Everybody that works for you, they get an assigned identity. Every app they use, everything they do for work, you should be able to track. And we set it up through the tenant. So if you're working with Google with a client, but you're a Microsoft shop, well, how can we work with them when we need Google? I guess I'll just go create a Gmail account and get what I need and then put it into our... No. The world has come a long ways since back in the day when it was Apple versus Microsoft versus Google. Like, they all know their strengths now. And by collaborating and staying true to their foundations and their anchors, they've allowed each other to work with each other. And now we can benefit from more secure, stable environments by allowing our tech stack to have our identity managed through 365, but still allow me to log in to Google to do what I need to do. Now, when I log into Google, let me show you this. I don't know if I can show you this easily or not. Let's go to, we're going to Google. We're going to go to Edge. And I'm going to open a new incognito window. New and private tab. All right. We're going to go to google.com. Actually, let's just go to, google.com. All right, I'm going to sign in. Watch this. I'm going to sign in with my Joseph. Boop. At Icora group.com. Signing into Google. Now I'm on Microsoft. Just because you're a Microsoft shop doesn't mean you can't work with Google. When you use Google services, when I sign in here, and I even have my MFA turned on to where, depending on where I am, I don't want to give out too much information. Let's just put it this way. We build out and customize your environments that way when you're working with conditional accesses and things of that nature. Like, we keep things secure. But look, I'm logged into Google with my work account that is managed. Let's do this. Right here. Where's my damn... Look at that. There's a difference. When I say identity, do you guys really know what I mean by identity? This is how you get your identity right. This is how your brand stays solid, your brand identity stays solid, and your tech stack stays secure because you're able to work in environments like this. So again, if you're a creative tech and you understand how creativity and technology works and all that good stuff, what am I doing? Go back. You know what? I'm an idiot. Just come on, technology. Work with me. Work with me. So we got our objectives and matters. You have to have your, know where you're going to get to your desired state here. All right. And objectives and matters are everything. Let's get into the second topic. We've talked enough about the community. I wanted to explain I don't know why I went to that little tangent to begin with, but I did. It's over now. We can all rest and get back to the show. How creative techs do it? Well, anchors. How do we manage anchors? Well, we know what anchors we have in place today. We have goals that we have our desired state that we're aiming for. We may not know our exact vision yet, but our anchors tell us what we need to do moving forward for today. If we have anchors we're wanting to put in place that we haven't established yet, by building out objectives, which are things we can control. Shit, let's just do this. Might as well just leave it up. We're getting close to wrapping things up here. I gotta hurry up. So again, while you're on your journey, these objectives and matters right here are important. And the reason why they're important is because what objectives are, do this. You're going to have a plan, and it's going to have steps, pivot, whatever, you go into stage 3. So you can have all these plans out, and this is like future, right? Down here. This is the present. So with the present and the future, as you're going down these steps, those are objectives, right? Now here's where matters come in. Matters are like, oh, I like this little framework you have here. It could be something as bad as, it could be cancer. You could lose limbs. There's so many things that could happen in life. Your loved one could leave you, or better yet, you could leave your loved one. Who knows, right? Who knows? If you're leaving that's better yet. What am I talking about? I sound stupid. Anyway, objectives are the things that we can control, and we put them in our pipeline, and we can start designing our pipeline and having all these objectives listed out that we want to do to help us get to our desired state, because we know what anchors we want. If you know what anchors you want, you know what objectives you have to put in place. Step 1 here, this is going to give you an anchor. Then you have another anchor here once you finish this objective. And by the time you get down here, you're down to your desired state. What's going to happen? What happens is matters happen. Matters are things you can't control. And they're going to say, screw your plans. I got something better for you to work on. They come in and they just... And when matters happen, if you have solid foundations, you're not going to crumble as you move forward. You're going to be able to say, I need to pivot. I need to go this way. Now my steps are going this way. Or better yet, maybe I have to go this way. I don't know. I think my scribbling is probably just making things worse. I kind of want to get good at explaining things and having some, like when I get a designer and somebody to come in here and truly help me find ways to, and tools and graphics and assets that help me explain everything I'm doing in a much better way. I look forward to it. We'll get there. So, guidance. How do you guide through your objectives? And when matters come through and knock through, how do you pivot? How do you readjust? That's important. In order for you to do that, in order for you to have that guidance, you have to, having those structures, having those frameworks, those foundations in place that allow you, knowing the principles, having responsible and ethical AI and technology, and having that modern workforce and radical leadership mentality, and building to make the tribe better, right? Truly educating your team and getting everybody on the same page. All this stuff, all this lofty, fluffy, feel-good stuff. Some people think it's all talk, but no. You lead by example to get there. And if your management, if your firm isn't getting you where you want to be, quit making excuses for your production. You're limited based off of their expectations. That's fine. Set your own expectations. Well, nobody else around here is doing their job when they're doing something else. Why should I? That mentality. I don't get paid to sweep the floor. Why do I got to sweep up this mess? I didn't make it. I didn't cause the spill that just happened and walk away. Or even better yet, yeah, I made a spill, but I'm not the cleanup person. I'm not cleaning it up. Wow. Everybody has their own agenda. And when they come into the workforce, are they in a headspace? I'm here to provide a service and to do the best I can for you. And because I know you're going to do your best for me and my family to give us as much money and benefits as you can to allow me to live a decent life. I'm just going to have a job versus, are you clocking in for somebody versus, clocking in for yourself? So use your anchors for guidance. That's all I'm getting at with this. Now, normally we would take a break right here. We have a spot for a break, but I think I spent way too much time on the fifth element we were on track until I went into this whole, I probably should stick to a script somehow on that section of the show, but it's fine. It's just where we are today. We will adjust and do better next episode. And we don't have any sponsors or anything at this point. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and move into topic 3, which is what should you take away from today's episode? I've said this a few times in this episode already, I believe, but we're going to say it again. Keep it heavy. Keep it real. Be consistent. Being authentic and genuine, those are big ones. And that goes without saying. You got to do those things without saying. But as long as you're doing those things, keeping it heavy, keeping it real, you got to start somewhere. And you got to start sometime. Start here. Start now. Don't put it off. Oh, I'm tired of feeling like crap. I'm gonna go on a diet starting Monday. Start now. Start making decisions now. And are you self-aware as you're going through your day? I think we all could use a little dose of self-awareness. I know that's the biggest thing that's helped me get to the biggest growth that I've had. And I can't express to you enough that you got to find a coach. You got to find a mentor. You got to find somebody that truly understands what it means to establish your current state and to design and develop a desired state and to work towards that desired state. A lot of the people that I mentioned earlier when we were going through the influencer database, a lot of people in the influencer database, their jobs are to motivate and empower others, to show them that you can do this. This isn't rocket science. And it's crazy that right now, the number one growing industry in the world, education. And no, we're not talking about K through 12. We're not talking about public education. We're talking about leadership, coaching, development, whatever you want to call it, consulting. Really, a lot of businesses I've met, they manage the tech stack in a way that they own the tech stack and they allow the clients to use it. So they pay them to use it. No. You're not Microsoft. You're not Adobe. You're not Cisco. You're not these big, you're not Apple. You are the expert. Set their tech stack up for them and manage it for them. That way, if they fire you, all they got to do is find another IT manager to take over. And there's not a long drag out. If it needs to change, it makes it easier on you because don't hold people's hostage. Don't hold them hostage to their systems, to their data, to their data. And that's one of our mottos here at iQuora is that we need win-win-win situations. So find a coach, start somewhere, start now. Keep it heavy, keep it real. And that's really what I want you to take away from this. Be consistent. Be consistent with that. Touch base with somebody on a regular basis. Write out your anchors. Write out your foundations. Write out your current issues and matters that you're dealing with. Write out the objectives that it'll take. dump it into ChatGPT or Anthropic or any of these other great models and get feedback. That's what I do. I drop it into one and I drop it into another. I look at the differences and I stick with an LLM that I feel responds to me the way I'd like it to. And, the wife has been using ChatGPT more and more. She's starting to get it and starting to see the value. And I'm telling you, like, my wife and I, she's one of my anchors. And like, you having anchors helps you get through. Resilience was an episode before last, Foundations. And I'm telling you, resilience, like these episodes, when I redo them, they're going to be even better the next time around. So I would love for you to stick around, check them out. All right. So anchors, we have alignment. We have our ability to, what was that word? Guidance. I keep on thinking it starts with C. We got to guide ourselves with our anchors. And we have to discover what those anchors are. That's what you need to take away. So I hope today's episode gave some kind of, perspective on how we're doing things here at the Creative Tech and why we're building things the way we're building them. And truly getting good at articulating what a desired state is and what foundations are and what anchors are as we're figuring it out ourselves. We're coming up to the point to where in March it'll be a year, and that'll be here. That's 4 months away, if that. Like, I feel like it'll be here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, within like 4 months. It's not too long. So can we get this? Can we get this down before the year hits? And we've been doing Creative Tech sessions for a year. I started it. It had no basis, no framework, no nothing. And a year later, we're at how many subscribers? How many people that would consider themselves a Creative Tech after, adopting and becoming part of the tribe? And how many sessions are we doing in a week? Like, where are we at a year from now? And where are we at 2 years from now? And are you able to track and see the delta and the things you're doing? My clients, I've been trying to show them that, hey, listen, use your tech stack to guide and track things. And they're all like, Joseph, you got all these great ideas. And we've adopted a lot of your stuff, but, getting in the admin pipeline and getting a vision and getting everybody behind it and getting everybody in a room to have a session and things of that nature. Some of my clients are just not there yet. And some of them are like, wow, we're leaning into this. And I'm like, yes. So I got 40 plus tech stacks. And I have 2 others that are learning to be account managers using our principles. So this is all exciting to me. I'm excited because either way, like, if this doesn't work out, I got a great resume. And yeah. The only reason why it wouldn't work out is because there's things out of my control that cause that to happen. As long as it's within my control, we'll get there. We'll get there. All right. So there's 3 steps. Tribe.creativetech.ai. Join the tribe. Do it now. Step 2, align with us. Fill out the form. Align.creativetech.ai. Yourself a cup of coffee, sit back and be real. Keep that shit heavy. And then schedule your free session. That's it. And then we get to talk and chat, and then you get to see how full of shit I am, and we get to move on with life. It's beautiful. No, really, I think if you come to a session and you're eager and ready to move forward, like I got some people I got to reach out that have had sessions and I haven't talked to in weeks, if not months. You can't let things go by the wayside. Yeah. All right. Woo! What a session. We are an hour and 6 minutes. I didn't start. I was a little bit late starting. And then we went 6. So it's what, 110 now? 210? Yeah. So we went a little over. That's okay. I think today's structure, I felt a lot more confident having the agenda. I stayed on track for the most part. I having a timer go off, boom, move to the next. Like I want to get good at doing it this way. Having this agenda, now that I have the template, it's got to be here every time or it's going to be a shit show. I know that. Having the show done in advance has to be done or it's going to be a shit show. I know that. If anybody has any suggestions for the show and what I'm showing you, if anybody wants to do a deeper dive on it and see where they can help out, schedule your session. That's when you have a session with me, we get to see where you want to be involved. Do you want to take this thing and run with it? Like, I'm good if that's the case. If I find the right person that really says, hey, I see the potential in this, I've been doing episodes this long, I can take I love what you built here, like keep the branding and everything and keep innovating and I'll show you the results and track them in your systems. Let me run with it. Sure, guy, chicka, whoever you are, please do. I would love to see what you could do with it. And as long as you're keeping the fundamentals, our foundations and our anchors in place, rock it. All right, everybody. Joseph Sunderman here, Creative Tech. Not the Creative Tech, just another Creative Tech like the rest of you. Happy Monday. Hope you have a great week. And as always, keep it heavy, keep it real. Talk to you next time. Peace.